So this is the Gamma interface. So over on the left, you've got your Gammas, things that people have shared with you, much like Canva, even like websites. This can actually make websites as well, which is just crazy when I think about it. You can store things in folders. There's templates you can work with, inspiration from others that have done great things. And a really important thing here called themes. And this is where I create the themes that go with the different kind of workshops I'm doing, or whether it's a branded set of templates for a particular company. As you can see over on the right here, I've got a whole ton of these different presentations and eBooks and things that I've created that have largely been branded in a particular way. I'll just take you into the themes very quickly, where you can see that I've created some for the work I do with ACS, for the digital solutions program, my own brand, Dante St. James, Headspace that my partner's using. I've got Kiter Management, Pelvi, the REINT, Tourism Central Australia, Speakstarter, my other business, and Skillaroo, all people that I do work with on a regular basis that I want to have a good brand kit ready to go. So I'm just going to take a look at my one to begin with. So with my brand kit, I've been able to select my accent color. These are my colors, my four main colors in my brand. So there's what I call hot candy pink, burnt orange, queen purple, and navy blue, or midnight as I call it. And then the blacks for my body color and headline color. So it creates this kind of theme. But then I look at the fonts. I've selected very specific fonts. Now, you can't upload your personally favorite font at this stage. So my own brand font is actually Outfit, which is a Google font, but that's not one of the list in here of fonts you can use. There will hopefully be a period of time in the future where they'll allow you to load in the fonts you want, or to be able to tie into Google Fonts. Hopefully that won't be too far away. So what I've done is selected a couple of fonts that are very, very close to the kind of font I'm using in my brand font. Next, you load up the logo. So I've got my logo in there. You can see that one. And then I can select how I want my slides or whatever I'm building to kind of look. So I like to have a little bit of shadow on my cards. I like to have a rounded corner that's very round for this. I like there to be a little bit of transparency. The borders can be very light in gray, and the edges where the photos and the images will be automatically inserted, I like that sort of rounded impact. I can sort of have that or this, or I can fade them in or do a wobbly looking thing, or a more of a convex or concave circle. But I like this round one. To me, that really suits me. So as I go down through, I can sort of see what it's roughly going to look like as it goes through these different ones. So it's done a bit of an attention box there, some secondary colors. It's sort of given me an idea of what my presentations might look like in my designs. I can also have images in here. I can have a very specific prompt for the AI images it's going to create, and saying to use very specific colors or a very specific style for like minimalist. I like boho chic, or I like single line pencil drawings, that kind of thing. I can do that. I can also load up what are called accent images, and they are sort of like background designs that will sit on the side somewhere. You'll see what they look like very shortly. So that's one brand kit I've got, but of course I've got far more than just the one brand kit. I've got quite a few of them that I'm looking at. Now, if you want to set up a brand kit of your own, if you've got something worked out in PowerPoint already, you can import your theme from PowerPoint or Google Slides. It'll allow you to upload that. So if you've got a Google or a Google Slides or a PowerPoint presentation that's already themed up the way you do it with your colors, your logo, it will extract all that and allow you to import that straight into here as well, which is a fantastic way of doing it. So you can build it from scratch like I did, or you can import it from somewhere else. So that's to do with really themes. There are custom fonts. I didn't realize this. So you can actually upload fonts. I've just noticed this myself. My partner did it just there, did their font. So yeah, I'll need to find where that is. So you can upload your font. So I can upload the Outfit font. I can select it, TTF and OTF fonts. So that's something I'm going to do very shortly and get my real font in there. Never noticed it there before. It's either new or I just didn't see it. So here you go. So now we're going to go to our gammas. Now, gammas as an overall thing for a design, it's like Canva designs or a presentation or an image. Now, you can do these gammas. You can create a website. So you can create a website in here. I haven't done any of that yet. I'm just getting over the fact that I created so many sites on Canva. Now I can create some over here. And as they say, a first website in just minutes. So if you've got an idea you want to test out and build very quickly just to get something online, this could be a possibility as well. And you can then attach domain names to those as well. And then you can look at AI images. If you want to create AI images, it has an AI image generator built in. Now, you're not going to have unlimited use of this. It is limited, but I'm yet to get to the limits, so I don't even know what the limits are. As I say, I'm using Ideogram as the main image generator I use in here. It's really good. Like it's creating what I would think are very good realistic images. And if it creates something I don't like, I just create again something else. And I've got, as you see, probably hundreds and hundreds of images that I've created here over the last few months as I've been doing this. You see where there's strong themes. So for instance, in here, we can see a strong theme of the oranges because that's the theme of a particular set of a brand that I was picking up on. So yeah, some of it's very realistic, some of it's more cartoonish, some of it can be very pencil line drawn or sketched, or very cartoonish. It just depends on the way you prompt it and what you want to set. So I don't have any particular set design that I want to go to when I want to generate images, but sometimes I just want a photo of a person, right? And that's how it helps me to do that without getting that really, really shocking stock photography that we all hate. So we'll go back up to there. We'll go into our now. What do we want to create? We want to create something new from blank. We want to import something. What I'm going to do is going to go create new, and I've got the option here to either paste in some text for it to build that in. I can generate something from just one line. I don't really like doing that all that much because it doesn't get a lot of me in there, right? Or I can import something I've already got. So I've already got a document somewhere that I want to turn into something. What I'm going to do is do something a little bit naughty. I'm going to go into ChatGPT and I'm going to generate a workshop outline. So I'm going to go, give me a workshop outline for a 1 hour webinar on the topic of, let's just say, natural makeup and its advantages. So that's all I'm going to do is going to get one line and then let ChatGPT sort of flesh that out a little bit for me. Now, this is not going to be one of the great workshops of all history. It certainly won't be, but it's given me something here to work with. So it's given me a bunch of, visual aids. It's giving me some engagements, giving me some ideas, just the basics of ChatGPT kind of slop, right? It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just what it is. So I'm going to generate a bunch of these different slides in ChatGPT. We're down to 4, 5. It's going to do quite a few for me. And so I'm going to be happy with this, a Q&A, wake up call, call to action. This is good. This is fine. We're like a Canvas slide deck. Now I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to take it over to my Gamma screen and go paste in text. Now, once I paste this, you'll notice it's these 3 little lines. It's already put those in because that's kind of the universal thing between all these systems to say new slide. So I'm going to take out the little overview at the top. I don't need that. The webinar title, that looks good. Yeah, I'll just put that in there. This looks like it's laid it out and probably where I need it to be laid out. So that's looking good for me. Take out the Canva prompt and let's see what we've got left at the end. Now, I've got the idea to do a presentation. I'll zoom that in a bit for you so you can see it. A web page, a document, or a social. So a web page, obviously a website. Document is like an ebook. That's where I create my ebooks. And then there's social media, which would be like a carousel. Let's just go with a presentation for now. The default is to create a particular kind of stage, a particular kind of presentation that's fluid. So it's different lengths all over the place. Now, I'm usually presenting on a TV screen where I need to click forward. I want it to be traditional. I need it to be a traditional 16:9 wide presentation. So let's continue. And what let's do, so it's going to ingest that information I've given it. Now it's giving me a bunch of options. Now the options are to either generate text new, condense the text down. So I'll just hover those, fill in your outline with added details, condense if you want it to be, not as much, or you want to preserve as much as your original content as you can. Quite often I'll preserve because I'm writing my own content, so I want to preserve it. What I'm going to do today is just go generate. I'm going to let it generate stuff around this, right? The amount of text per card is interesting. Short sentences, concise paragraphs, or detailed. Medium is a nice feel. Most of the time, though, I'll use brief simply because I like to talk around the details. I don't want people sitting there distracted by trying to read everything. So let's just go brief for me. And then I'm writing for a particular crowd. Let's say makeup enthusiasts and beauty professionals sounds about right for this. Friendly and informative and encouraging tone. I'm writing in US. Unfortunately, there's no Australian English, but I will show you in a second how to work around that. And then you can either generate AI images. So I can put a particular style in there, use neutrals and skin tones mostly. So that's the sort of style I want to lay over all my AI images. Or I could use stock photos from Unsplash, or I could use something automatic. So sometimes it'll use Unsplash, sometimes it'll use the web, sometimes it'll use stock photos. In this case, I can say just search the web. A problem with searching for the web, it picks up a lot of stock photos that have got the watermarks on them, so it looks a bit silly. And then you've got things like illustrations, which will actually have drawn images that kind of match what you're doing. I'm not a big fan of the illustrations. The AI images do okay. Let's say just okay, not brilliant. They do okay, but you can change the model you're using for those images. So, for instance, this one at the moment is using Ideogram 3, which is one of the advanced models. So I can go Ideogram 3 Turbo could be the one I'm using because I want it to be fast and I want it to be good. So let's see how it does. Now, over on the other side of the screen where I've got all these now, my card by card, I can add in an additional instruction here. So one of those I'm going to add in is use UK English spelling, because it's the same as Australian spelling, and preserve ideas where you can. Just a little thing I like to say, because don't get too creative on me, okay? Don't get too creative. And then I can go card by card and specify where the breaks are, showing that, and adding those little lines is where we're going from card to card. But I can add in specific things there and saying, don't use the word delve. Don't use the word delve or the M dash because the M dash at the moment seems to be doing people's heads in on LinkedIn right now. So that's the prompt editor. I've now got that ready to go. So I'm going to click continue and it's now going to say, all right, well, here's the layout, the style I'm going to give you. That looks kind of good. Okay. I'm kind of liking that. Is that what I feel like when I'm talking about neutrals and earthy tones? Probably not. So what I want to look at for more neutral and earthy tones is probably one over here, maybe this one. That's feeling a bit more neutral and earthy, or maybe something like this. Again, a bit more the apricots, a little bit 1995 maybe for me. Maybe we'll just go for this one. But there's lots of really nice options, or I can always choose from my themes that I've created, my custom ones. So the ones that I created specifically for the brands that I'm working with and for my brands as well. So I won't do it in my brands. I'm going to do it in a standard one that they've done up for me. So I'm going to pick out a nice one that's got some nice neutral tones to it. This is kind of nice. I like that. And I don't know, a bit cucky. This is where I get really fussy with what I'm going to choose. I like this. This is nice. All right. I like, Merriweather theme or Merriweather font. I think it's a really nice font. What I'm going to do now is generate. And what it's going to do now, right in front of our eyes, is generate the slide deck for us. So it doesn't take long, like it takes about a minute, and it's going to show you as it's doing it. Glow naturally, the advantages of natural makeup. Here's the outline of the workshop. What is natural makeup? The advantages. It's going pretty well. And you can see it's also generating all the images along the way. I'm going to go back up the top so you can see that. That's a pretty gorgeous image for the kind of theme we're going for here. So it's doing a pretty good job. An outline for it, or there's a makeup palette. That's also brilliant, matches the theme. This one's a bit more of a plain one, not really much going on there. Yep, perfect for the theme again. Again, it's like it's tinted moisturizer or something like that, it's saying on there. So there's something we can do there. Again, we've got some like really weird brands that don't have really particularly great stuff on them, but that's because I'm using the turbo version of all those images. So if I try to use something which is a bit less, maybe let's just pick one of these. This one's got the weird text on it. I can change any of these as I'm going along. So it's actually finished now. It's finished doing my slide deck. That's pretty quick, and that's a beautiful looking slide deck. I can take this out if I really want to. I want my name there, but I don't want the show the last time I edited because that doesn't really make any sense to me. I like my fonts. I like the feel. It's nice. I just want to change some elements on here. So I can go in there and change anything I want. So let's change first this picture here. I don't really like this picture. It's got the right prompt in it that I like in there, but I just want to change it a bit. So it's using Ideogram 3 Turbo, which is very fast. I want to go for something which is a bit more premium that's going to take a bit, Ideogram 3, it's going to play with those things like the words and the text a lot better. So let's regenerate that using Ideogram 3 and see if that makes a vast difference to what we're doing. I just see like I'm not really having to do much here. I'm just going in and going, yeah, I think I can do a little bit better with that image. So let's see what it's done. So it's actually done some readable text on there now. So it's a lot more readable because it's taking a bit more time and compute power. What it's also given me though is other options to use in there. So I can use this option. So the girl's got a few freckles there and the writing is a bit easier to read, a little bit, most of it at least. This one where we're drawing on our hand, which might be a bit strange, but that's an interesting one too, or the one that they originally gave us. So I'm going to take this one here. I'm going to take the hand, actually. The hand's a bit different. And I can do that again as I go through all of these, or I can swap between AI images and something I want to upload. If I've got something of my own that I want to upload in there, I can search for something on the web. So I was looking for a flat lay of natural makeup products. So let's see what it finds on the web that might be usable. Remembering copyright isn't always your friend. So let's see what they've already got. So they got a load of sort of, yeah, it's a bit sort of naturally, not really the tones that I want to go with. This one's probably branded, so it's going to not be quite what I'm looking for. But yeah, it's a Grown Alchemist, but it fits the colors, right? Looks great. That's a web one. We can go here. We can do something with this and replace it with something from Unsplash. Unsplash do some really beautiful images sometimes. So here's some stuff with makeup, some neutrals, some eyebrow threading, some skin tones. I want to sort of find something that fits with what we're trying to do. So I might just put in this one. The colors aren't quite what I'd like, but it's still with that makeup theme. So I'm using stock photos in there as well. I can also add on extra pages. So I want an extra page. I want to put some more in here. You can put a contact me and then some information in there. I can change the text up to a bigger one. So display on monster. I can go heading 2, make this display. Take that one back down to heading 2. And then if I really want to have images on there, so for instance, I don't really want this image to be here. I can then change the layout with the card styling to move the image to another section. So I go either to the left, to the right, or as a background. So I can select that background. So now it's got a really subtle background feel to it. So I can vary things between my cards. Even this one I just did here, I can put this one over to the left and then load something in. But sometimes it takes a little bit of time to refresh. I might need to refresh that page because it's done it over in the preview, but in the main area, it hasn't shown me what the change was. So let's see what that change looks like. Change again. And there, now we can see it. So that's what I call an accent image. It's already loaded into this theme as an accent image. So I can change that from an accent image to, let's just say, an AI image, where we're going to go and pick one of the other things that was selected that we didn't use. Maybe this lovely one here. And there we go. So we've got a complete slide deck of how many pages. Now we could have stipulated more pages. Most of our things that are going to be an hour long probably going to be more than just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. We can add more. We can just tell it as we're doing it, we can add more, but we can add more over here. You can add new from a template. So there's templated layouts. So, a title with bullets in an image, columns, all these different layouts, or you can add with AI and you say, describe what I want in here. So you can put in there the types of natural ingredients in use. So I'm spelling it wrong, so it doesn't like me when I do that. I wish I could change it to English. Oh, look, it's just added an English UK to it. Isn't that nice? So we're going to magically create one based upon its own sort of outline around what the rest of the slide deck looks like, and we'll see what it comes up with. So if we want to add in some information of our own there, or just a prompt, it'll then start creating that. So it's created one for us. I want to try a different layout. So it's now going to suggest to me other layouts I could try. So it's got just that main one, but it can then start to do a bit of magic there. Much the same as Canva. It's almost the same thing. So it's given me some other layouts to try. So I don't probably want that many words on my screen. It's a lot of words going on. Maybe this layout's a bit nicer. I like that layout. There you go. We can work with that. So I've now got myself a lovely, lovely slide deck. But slide decks really are only one part of this. There's also the ability for us to create other things. For example, I created an ebook on Friday for my Saturday Sprint newsletter that went out. And that ebook was built in here. So I've got an ebook here where I've got all these images that I didn't generate in here, but I generated the outline of the book. So the outline of the book was in ChatGPT. So I can go back and see where I create. I create so many things. Gosh, I've created, yeah, it's going to take me forever to go back through and see where it is because I use this so it's intensely during the day. But it created, I used Midjourney to create a specific theme of images, but I generated all the written content in ChatGPT and just did the same thing where I copied it in to, create new, paste in the text. Well, let's do one for example. So I'm just going to use Mini High because it goes a bit faster, and we're going to go create me an ebook of 10 pages about the topic of maintaining your composure at work when under pressure. Now, I'm not expecting this to be War and Peace or, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell by any stretch of the imagination. I'm only giving it this many words to draw something big together. I'm going to say, about 250 words per page. I've given it very little to work with. It's going to go out and do an amazing job of doing something very generic, right? It's not going to have any my stories in there, none of my personality in there, unless I do that. And when I do this, usually I've trained it on all my writing, like hundreds of pieces of my writing. So it understands my way of looking at things. It understands my aesthetic, my tone, my voice, and it does a much better job because there's so much stuff out there that I've written already. In this case, though, I'm just taking a real basic kind of stuff. It's going to go through this thinking process. It's going to look for, a 10-page ebook with about 250 words per page. It's tricky. Well, that's okay. But let's see what it comes up with. It's starting to produce the first page of the book. It's going to start displaying that now. Page one, it's doing encode. So it's going to go through this process and write it. That's all in ChatGPT. But what we'll do in here, we still do the same thing. We just drop the text in. So it's going to take a little bit of a while to do these pages. So I might need to go back to my previous ones and see what I can find. So previous 7 days, I did one about working on your future. This is actually the one I'd used. So this is my newsletter that I helped put together on Saturday. So I'm going to copy the content of that newsletter and I'm going to copy that into Gamma and create an ebook out of my newsletter. So you got a newsletter and you got an ebook, or you got a blog and you got an ebook. As long as you wrote something from scratch yourself, you can repurpose that for other things. So I'm going to change that. Instead of where it says presentation, I'm going to go into document. So let's see what that looks like. The default's fine. A4, yeah, it's probably about the right size for Australians. Let's continue and see what it's going to turn this into. Now, again, it's going to ask me, I'm going to say to preserve. I want to preserve what's in there. I want to change my language now that they've got the UK English, so I don't need to put that as a rule. I can put some images in there if I like. What I might do is change that to do some illustrations from Pictographic. So it's going to do some sort of squiggly illustrations that kind of match what is on that page. Let's see what it's going to generate in the style that I want to do. So that style, what's the style I would usually do is probably in my brand style. So let's go into my brand style, which is just here. So my pinks, I like my pinks. Let's generate it. Now, instead of generating a slide deck, it's going to generate me an ebook. So this is, again, like really, really rough. I haven't gone to a lot of trouble with putting this together. This is still, this is, still going to be trying to put together my composure under work pressure. But it's, look at page one, page two. It's done a bit of work in it. Page four. So it's still generating it. But this is now starting to produce me a really lovely ebook. So it's done the pictographic stuff in the background. I want to get rid of that again. Don't really like that. And again, a little pictographic picture. It's going to do another one here somewhere, I'm guessing. It's a bit gappy, so I'll probably go back in and make some changes to make it a bit better. It hasn't really preserved the 250 words per page that I wanted it to, but I can fill a lot of that out with some graphics. So for instance, in this one, I can go down here and then go, okay, forward slash, I want to make some kind of image. So let's go to a pictographic illustration, and it's going to find something that seems to fit this. So let's do the highway to heaven is probably not what I'm looking to doing, because we're not talking about death today. We're talking about building something. So I've got a little building pictographic. I can stretch that out to fill the rest of that page if I wish to. If I want to have something a bit more illustrative. There we go. Fills the page nicely. Do the same in this one. Or what I can do is maybe go here and fill it in between the text and the heading. So I'm not going to upload. I'm going to go to a pictographic again. We're talking about goals. So I'm going to put in goals as my prompt for the pictographs. There we go. So we've got some stuff about goals. I like this one here. And we're going to stretch it out, and we can fill the page up with that too. And it still doesn't quite fit into there, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller so it all fits in. Now you see it's not sitting in the middle, so I can just go bang, and that sits in the middle. It's already given me the ability to do that. And then I've got a really nice page again. So again, you've got this option to fill up your pages with really good stuff. I can put another image down here because it deserves one. We're talking about life going to the gym. So I'm going to go to my pictographic illustrations again and go gym. What's it going to give to me? People working out at the gym. So I want to get some people in there, maybe. Maybe this fella here. This fella's a bit like me, big hefty guy. And again, I can fill that space so it fills it up nicely. This one's a little bit small, so I might use it to fill up the space as well. So now I've got essentially the bones of a little ebook that's kind of attractive. It's got little images in it. It's got a bit of a theme. You can see over on the left here. You can get a bit of an overview of it all. If I don't like that front page, I don't really want to have this whole background image. I can just change my card styling to this or this or this, or just don't have an image in there at all, and put my image in where I want it to be. So I'm going to put in clock as my pictograph. I know I'm moving super quick, so I'm sorry about that. Just want to make sure I can give you the most amount of value that I can. So here we go. We've got our clock. I'm going to spread it out because this is the cover of the book. And what I can do is then go in here and create a new page. So I go, if I did that, that'll then go over into a new page. Or I could just do the new page itself, grab all this information, whack it into the new page, and then I'm going to talk about, try scribble. So we're going to go scribble. I'm going to look for another picture in there. Let's go to our pictographics again. Drawing. I want to get a picture of someone drawing. There we go. Exactly what we want. So I want to get something which is kind of showing someone scribbling. Oh, that looks great. Fill it out. And then we've got another page done. So I've got a page over here. I can get rid of all that extra content now that I don't need. And if I really needed to, I can probably make things a little smaller, like this image, so I can then fit things properly on the page again. And I can get that. There we go. And now I've got, if you look over on the left-hand side, my outline, you can see a much more attractive set of pages with some information on there, not overwhelming, nicely laid out. And there's my ebook. Now, of course, you can fill out much more stuff in there. It doesn't have to be as brief as I've made it. You can make it a lot less brief and a lot more stuff in it. Sometimes what I'll do, I'll go to napkin.ai. So if you don't know what that is, Napkin is a way of getting visuals from text. So if I go back into not my composure under, but my other one, work on your future, I'm going to grab a bit of information from that writing. So I'm going to grab that one about the gym routine I do, and I'm going to put it into Napkin to create a visualization of that text. So you're going to have a bit of a bonus extra here. We're going to look at Napkin as well. Let me get rid of all these old things I had in here before. I no longer need them. And I can just copy and paste in my text. And as I hover over it, it gives me a little thing here. And I'm going to tell it now, magically create me some kind of visualization of that text. So this one's done. Emotional bankruptcy prevents thriving during shakeups. I've got this one. I've got many styles of it. I got this one, this one. I kind of like that one, but I want it in black and white to match the rest of my document. So I'll go down until I find a black and white version. And look, it's got that kind of scribbly kind of text with it. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to just clipboard it. I don't need to download it. I'm just going to paste it straight into this document. So I'm going to go back here, replace something that I didn't like with this. So let's just say, got the gym one. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to create a cover page. I'm going to create a cover page at the front, drag it up the top. I'm going to go back into my design. I'm going to drop in that image. There you go. I can widen that out so it fills up the whole page and chuck it up the top because I want it to be at the top. Page one. And I can put in my title. Put my title down the bottom, I think. Come on. What's it doing to me? There we go. Sort of playing up on me a bit now. Here we go. And my title can be Why Change When You Are Comfortable. And I can make that my title screen. Make it a monster size. Oh, not that big. Gosh, that's too big. Display maybe. Yep, it still fits in there. And I could have made that my image. Now I don't like that image. Get rid of it. Keep that there. Maybe go back in and create my pictogram. And I can do something about change. What is a change thing? So change, changing a tire, changing something. Maybe something like this. No, I want people in there. People, I think, looks much more cool. This one looks a bit bemused. Bemused person. Stretch it out. And then you can see over on the left here in my outlines, I've got a nice title page. I can center align that if I need to. If I feel like it's a bit neater. I can also add colors to any of this if I want. I can color the text as well. I want to make it pink. There you go. And now I've created a really nice ebook. Really, really simple way to do it. So that's number two. Number three thing I want to show you is the final bit is to create something for your LinkedIn, like a swipey carousel thing, right? Now, those swipey carousel things you see on LinkedIn are basically PDFs. They're Adobe Acrobat PDFs. You can do the same thing, pasting text. What I'm going to do is generate something. I'm going to use this AI thing for what it's meant for. 4 cards. I'm going to do 6. I'm going to do a social. I'm going to do it in portrait, square, maybe portrait. Yeah, let's do portrait. Do it in English UK. And I'm going to describe what I want, the process of changing your career to owning a business. Nice generalized one, the kind of stuff you'll see on LinkedIn quite a lot. I'm going to generate an outline based on that. So it's going to give me these cards of content. So it's going to give you some ideas. I'm just going to go with whatever it decides to do. It's talking about UK businesses because I selected UK spelling. So it's generated me 6 cards of information. I can select the theme that I want. So I'm going to go this Lunaria one looks really cool. I'm going to go with that. I just want it to be brief, the text, because it's like a swipe thing. I don't want it to be too over the top. AI images are fine. I want to use pinks and purples. Actually, I wanted to use the pictograms, don't I? Because I like those. I don't usually use them, so they're a nice thing to have. So image placeholders, animated, automatic, illustrations. There we go. So I just want illustrations with a brief amount of text. I'm just going to do that. And it's going to create me my little swipey thing. So let's see what it's done. I'll swap down here a bit. It's just generating away. My screen, my little screen goes over my big screen a little bit. So here we go. It's now creating each page of that PDF that will be swipeable. It's done it in reverse. It's done it in UK currency. So now it's done this for me. I can now go and export this, the little dots, go to export, and I can export that to PDF, or I can post it directly to LinkedIn, and it will actually go straight into LinkedIn as a document, as they call it in LinkedIn, but most people call them carousels. I can export it to PowerPoint, Google Slides, any of those things, and they become completely editable in there as well. It's just that you might find that if you don't have the matching fonts out in Google or out in PowerPoint, it's telling you down here the fonts you may need to get if you need those fonts. And it's got a link to where you can get those fonts from. So that's really, really useful. But I would usually go, let's export it to PDF, but I can also share it too. I'm going to share this straight out. There's a link to the live document that people can read online. So it's like it publishes it online, like Canva does, right? I can collaborate with other people. I can have members in my crew. It costs you extra to have extra members though, so bear that in mind. Or I can embed it. I can embed this inside another document on another website. So you've got tons of these different things. You can publish it to a website that you've already got in Gamma. So if you're using this to create your website, that's another option as well. But I don't want to go into websites for now because that's a whole other world. And like we're running out of time. So already over time. So that's a bit of a preview of what Gamma does, what it's like. You can go to Gamma.app. That's at Gamma.app. So I'll just log out so you can see what it actually looks like when you go to the main website itself. It'll look like this. I don't have that, so I'm going to go sign in, just go straight to there. And there you go. So you can have a look at it. You can start for free. You can sign in and get going much the same way as you do Canva. And it gives you a really good rundown of the kind of things you're doing. But for me, this has reduced the amount of time I spend on making workshop slides by a massive degree. It's given me so much time back simply because I've got a set way of doing things now. I've got my fonts, I've got my colors, I've got my style. All I need is that information on the screen, and I will talk around the rest. Now, does it make you a brilliant presenter just by the fact you've got brilliant slides? Of course not. You still got to know your stuff. So it doesn't take the human side completely away just yet, but it can reduce the amount of time you spend on producing beautiful presentations. And for me, like I said, 6 hours a week just on this means that, you know, at my hourly rate, let's just say I was getting paid $200 an hour, right? Let's just say in the perfect world, $200 an hour. 6 hours of that, $1,200. It's a lot less than $20 US. It's a lot more than $20 US for a month, isn't it? And that's just in a week. So yeah, that's the kind of saving you're getting by using these tools. That's the way I look at it. It's the abundance mindset. You always look at, you know, not just the cost, but what it really brings you. And for me, 6 hours of my life back, I appreciate it. My partner appreciates it. And I think my friends appreciate it too. I'm a little bit more available to them now. So thank you for joining me. Hope you really got something out of that. Give it a try for free. There's nothing to lose, and see what it can do to help sort of speed up the workflow. Remember, AI is not just about making things fast and efficient. It's also about helping to partner with you to make better things. And in my case, I can do more. I can dig deeper into it. I've got more time to do the researching and the learning now because I don't have to spend so much time making the stuff.